Welcome, my witches, to another wonderful day of practical witchcraft, right? What are we doing today, my friends? What is it that is on your menu to cast this afternoon? Well, you know today is going to be the end of the year, so to speak, for our current, right? As we go through today, and as we go through tonight and tomorrow and into the new year, what is it that we're going to bring to the table, right? And so it's with this that I say the energy currents shift, right? We know that. We know that there is a transitional period, and we know that between the transitional period of what we're doing and what we need to do, there's a many-fold way that we can go about it. And so today's blend, again, I'm going to be using the Palo Nemo plant, and I'm going to be using it specifically to give rise to an opening of the road, to produce the means by which the spirit of the other ingredients that we're going to use today are going to manifest. And so as we do this, as we get into doing this, we are able to concern ourselves not just with the tangible, oh, I have this job that I'm doing, oh, I have this thing that I'm working on, oh, I have this family problem that's going on, oh, I have these relationship issues, etc., 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 right? That's human concerns. This is for the entire year. This is the current of the year that we're creating a spell for, right? And now, while I can burn these because I know my allergies aren't going to respond negatively to them, there is a way that you can use it in a different capacity, right? Again, and I touched on it a little bit yesterday, where you can literally bond these things together with the spell of animation in the Grimoire of Arts and create an entirely new spirit that will walk with you throughout the year. And so for tonight's right in the afternoon, I'm going to use this spell blend, and I'm going to conjure just such a spirit, so that way those that are walking with this path or walking with this type of magic will have a practical application from a thing that was created earlier in the day that they can then go and make manifest in their own life if they draw the symbol and say the words. What's up, Andrew? How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Hopefully your travels are going well today. So, first ingredient of the day is the Palo Nemo, right? It's the opening of the way. And so we get a good grind on that going, you know. I love using the microplane. It is one of my favorite bartending tools of all time. Like, you can use this for, like, doing, you know, like the nutmeg and, like, your harder things. But in witchcraft, these suckers come in fucking handy when you're shaving down the bark, when you're shaving down the beans, when you're shaving down all sorts of shit, right? And just remember that you don't want to necessarily breathe in this stuff, so you want to keep a good distance back from it, right? And so as you go through and you're doing this, right, you're thinking, okay, well, what is the open road that I want to be for this year? Morning, Mike. And so the open road in this case is the road of the spirit that we're going to conjure from these other ingredients, right? And we're going to make sure that the thing that we're doing isn't going to fuck with the other stuff that we're getting up to, right? And what do I mean by that? I mean, we're working on some witchcraft, right? And then we're working on some applications of it. Myrrh is a fun one. Myrrh is going to augment the ingredients that are around it, okay? And so we're opening the road, and we're augmenting the ingredients with myrrh, but it's also a Jupiter planet, so it deals with time. So we're opening up the gates of time with this, right? And then we're going to add a little bit more of that saffron. I've been hitting on saffron the last couple of days because, again, we're moving out of the dark period of the year into the light, and what better than saffron being a representation of the sun, right? Turns everything a nice golden yellow. And apparently, quite a lot. So that's going to be some of the ingredients, and then the last little bit is going to be the ginseng. And this is, again, this is Uranus's tree, or plant, root, what have you, right? So this comes from, what does Uranus run? Uranus is the outer gate, right? It is, in some cases, the thing I use to represent the universe itself, right? I use this, I call it chaos, right? Neptune is where I would call the darkness, right? Because in this case, Neptune, the god of the dark seas, right? In the lesser void of the darkest ocean, right? That would be the same thing as Neptune. It's one of the furthest things out there. And then Uranus, it's chaotic. It's got all sorts of shit going on with it, right? And so for me, I'm only going to use a quarter teaspoon of this shit because I don't want it to overwhelm the other delicate ingredients of, like, in this case, the palonemo and the saffron. But it is going to get a nice hearty base when it comes to using the myrrh that's in here. And so grinding these down, so this is going to open up the gates of time and augment the light that comes forth through the darkness and through the chaos of the universe itself, right? So we're pulling on things that are coming through the outer void into the physical world through the gate that we create when we burn this sucker, right? And so by that, we will have ourselves an incense blend and an ingredient arrangement that will allow us to open up the gates at midnight, right? And so the spirit that we conjure forth for the year, or that we're going to conjure forth to walk with us, to protect it, or what have you, as one of the first sigils and constructs that I'm actually going to be making for the people that work with these studies, so that they can start interacting with these spirits, so that this can be one of the foundation of these spirits that gets conjured up for the banner that I was talking about in the post the other day and with Rex about having an astral temple space that's specifically for people that are pulling on the academy nodes, right? Like the banner itself will become an image. That image becomes a gateway. Well, this is a spirit that we can put into that gateway, so that way everybody can call it forth, right? Like, this will be the foundations of what opens the gate to that and what forms the spirit for that, okay? So that way, we're not talking intangible planetary energies. We're not talking confusing energies. We're talking about, it's a brand new year tonight, and so we're making a brand new spirit specifically to serve our community. So that way, we can call it up. We can mix up the blends ourselves, and we can call it up in our own life, but it'll be one thread of energy, one current of energy that we open up and we give form, and through that form we get manifestation. And so by doing that, this kind of a blend will help you create the first foundations of that, because again, you're dealing with ingredients of Jupiter, you're dealing with ingredients of the formative world with the ginseng. You're dealing with the light through which it can move, right? So it can transmit itself across any place where there's light or radiation. And the myrrh augments all of that, right? And you're giving it a name with the palonemo, you know? You're giving it an intent. You're giving it the means to become a named spirit. And so it opens the road to that success, right? And so by doing that, it just changes up again. You know, we talked about it a little bit in yesterday's commentary, was that, you know, you give these things a name based on the ingredients that they use in the planetary energies or the celestial energies or whatever it is that they represent, right? Well, all of these things are themselves at one point living. They all have a different nature and a different behavior. But this, once you blend it all together, it creates a compound, right? And then if you use the spell of animation on it, you create a new type of life for it. And so by that new type of life, you have that new type of output, so that way what you've done is you've created an entirely new spirit specific to your system, to your ingredients, so long as you use the foundation of this idea, right? You've got the palonemo to give it a name and to give it a form. You've got the saffron to give it something that'll interact with the light. You've got the myrrh to augment it, and the ginseng in this case to give it a body that'll work within the universe, right? And you can then add to it those other ingredients that you want to in order to be able to change the nature of this spirit, in order to be able to manipulate it or modify it or create it or bless it or what have you, so that again it becomes a familiar essence and that you can send that out into creation. So, my friends, grind it down, get yourself a good grind on those little myrrh chunks that are in there. In this case, you do want to have everything as much of a uniform as you can, right? And the reason for that is because you can draw your sigils with this stuff, right? You can mix this stuff with other inks, and through this, you have the means by which you can create the sigils for the spell's anchor, so that you can create those spirit talismans especially, right? And so we'll go over that more later this evening. So I'm going to get this stuff in a jar. I wish you a very happy morning, and thank you for joining me for the spell of the day. Stay safe, my friends, and mind your allergies, okay? Remember, with this methodology, you don't want to be summoning up spirits to, like, go fuck with people. You want to do it so that they help you. They guide you. They lead you out of the bullshit, right? And so by doing this, and with today's ingredients, hopefully you'll be able to see some traction on your spells moving forward and on your own spirit interactions. So thank you, my friends, and I will see you at 2 p.m. for this afternoon. Bye for now, y'all.